And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I'm net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical, more human nature, philosophical kinds of QSOs, such as one of my favorites called Something to Crow About, featuring Kenny and his master modulating rooster Henry. You'll have to check it out. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim Ferguson's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length and major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim Ferguson's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. In addition, 2 of the 3 may be rotated separately. They are selected by a 6-position rotary selector. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our NOSWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations at QSA-5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this is part of the band where many nets are trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, Jim, very, very Q5. Not too awfully strong, but that summertime absorption. But you're running about a 6 to an 8, but very Q5. But we don't have an SCR. We have to listen to you direct from southern Indiana near Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, Jim, we do have a good copy, though. No problem on a mostly sunny day. Temperature right at 60 degrees. Do you copy okay, Mike? Jim, K1GZL, Clarksville, New Hampshire.
Roger, Charlie, 30 over on Milford SDR, Roger.
30 over on Milford SDR, Roger.
Okay, I'm glad you're copying me through Milford, northeast Pennsylvania. And here's a little bit of Ian recorded on 40 meters about a year ago down near Melbourne, northwest of Melbourne, Australia, to show you what conditions were like right here on 40 meters at that period of time. Let's see if I got it.
Wound down. Great to hear you in there, Charlie. Glad that you've managed to make it. And I'll put over to Mike to see if there's any propagation between northern New Hampshire and Pittsburgh. WA30 remote to transmit with K1GZL, Kilo 3 Mike Oscar.
Okay, and that was northwest of Melbourne, Australia, 10,500 miles or 15,000 kilometers away. So that antenna that I used at that time is still not functional. I do have to do a lot of work on it. So outside of that, nothing much, except Captain Mike will be flying. He will be flying on Tuesday, and we hope to have a little bit of where he's flying over as he travels from Sacramento, the capital of California, to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and who will also record him as he is on the tarmac on the ground in Philadelphia at the airport right on the south end of town. KC9VKV from K1GZNL, if you copy.
Roger, Charlie. Just out of curiosity, what kind of signal strength was that Australian DX station running?
Oh, he was probably running 20 to 30 over 9. 20 to 30 dB over 9. Very, very strong. And the thing that amazes me is what low power does. And as you heard on a recording, I recorded another station in Melbourne, Australia, right in Melbourne, and that was about a month and a half ago on 20 meters, and he was copying my signal down to a very solid copy at 4/10 of 1 watt, and partially at about 1/10 of a watt. 1/10 of a watt. If you can imagine such a thing, 1/600th of a 60-watt light bulb. Go ahead.
Roger. And you were using audio, sideband audio, or CW?
Audio or CW?
Oh, no. This was on sideband audio, like we're using right now here. Sideband, pure sideband. It was just the band was good. Go ahead.
That's amazing. That is really amazing. 'Cause, if you stop to consider then that CW would probably be probably 4 times more efficient, you'd be down to transmitting and just thinking about it.
Well, the mind sometimes is the answer, the mind. However, I would say if somebody had the right antenna, and the conditions, or what we call the propagation, is just right, I would say that maybe 1 or 2 milliwatts, if the receiving was perfect, conditions were perfect, 1 or 2 milliwatts, in other words, 1/500th or 1,000th of 1 watt would make it, but boy, would it be weak. Go ahead.
Roger, but it would probably go into the what is that, Hall of Fame for unusual things, Roger?
Oh, yes, of course. You know what could happen? We could, if we could get such good conditions that we only use the dummy loads, no antennas at all, just the dummy loads, and then we could have a contest in the future, worked all dummy loads by all of us dummies. Go ahead.
Roger. Or who has the dumbest dummy load?
Okay, Jim. Well, look, I'll let you go, and I hopefully will catch you next Friday. We'll catch you next Friday here, and we should have Captain Mike. I'll be recording him on Tuesday as he flies in the Boeing 767 two-engine cargo, in this case cargo jet. And by the way, when that was when they use those in the passenger service, they can hold up to 200 passengers. However, he flies cargo. Jim flies cargo, and usually 34 to 39,000 feet, usually 35 to 39,000 feet. So he's interesting, and meeting him in person was a great thing. And his then co-pilot Jay, back around the middle of November 2021, and he sounded just the same in person as he does over the aircraft. And it's amazing that microphone on the plane does not pick up the whine of the engine. It's incredible. I don't know how they do that, Jim. Well, look, I'll let you go, and it's always, needless to say, always a pleasure KC9VKV, K1GZL, Clarksville, Northern New Hampshire.
Roger, Roger, Charlie 73 up that way, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you next Friday. This is the KC9VKV Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, better known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and we're recording now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series. So without further ado, let's get underway. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Victor America 3, Japan Tango.
Victor America 3, come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
America 3, come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Victor Alpha 3, Juliet Tango, VA3, AJT, Dr. Jim.
That's Alpha Juliet Tango, is that a Roger?
That's Alpha Juliet Tango, is that a Roger?
Sir Roger.
Roger, and what's the name there, please?
Roger, and what's the name there, please?
The name is the same as yours. We're all getting old and forgetting. The name is Jim, Japan, Italy, Mexico. And let me just ramble on for a second, Dr. VKV. I took your advice. Thank you so much for your wonderful advice in the past. I took your advice. I retired my FT-101 Echo since day one back in the 60s. And I got an ICOM 7300 for your advice. And I've never looked back in the last couple of weeks. Over.
Absolutely not, Jim. We need to do just a little bit of tuning on it, though, if you would. First off, verify that you're in the 100 to 2900 bandpass, transmit bandpass mode.
2900 bandpass, transmit bandpass mode.
I don't know how to do that yet. I just got it for my birthday.
Yes, sir. Okay. Make note that you want to operate in the 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth mode. It sounds like you are already, but just, later on at your convenience, verify that. Roger, Roger?
Later on at your convenience, verify that. Roger, Roger?
Oh, Roger, Roger. Any advice you give me, I will gladly take. 100 to 2900 bandwidth condition, I will check that out. And also picked up a new vertical, Hustler 6 BTV, and with the ICOM 7300. This is not a commercial. I've been in military communications for years, and the first day I worked 25 countries. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, you do sound like you might be up against the wall a little bit, so let's check some things. First, compressor on, and add a 3 on that radio. Compression on, and add a 3. Roger?
Compression on, and add a 3. Roger?
Okay, hold on. Compression is now on 3.
Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, and just draw that A out, audio. As you look at your ALC meter, you adjust your mic gain until the ALC is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
ALC is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Here goes. Oh, I'm right off scale here for sure. Audio. I don't think it changed.
Oh, yes, it did. It surely did. You have now 3 dB. You have life in your words. Before, you were running about maybe a dB and a half of dynamic range. The words were scrunched and blurry. And now that you've backed off your mic gain to where your ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3, you have a 3 dB dynamic range. So the words have life, and you're running 80 to 85% of average peak modulation. Roger?
85% of average peak modulation. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Yes, I was running my mate gain on the ICOM 7300 at 70%. Now I've backed it back to 50.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That really helps a great deal. You sound so much cleaner, and you are easier. Believe it or not, you're much easier to understand at this point than you were the other way, Roger.
At this point than you were the other way, Roger.
Roger, Roger, Doctor.
Okay, now, do you know how to get to your tone control, your EQ page?
How to get to your tone control, your EQ page?
Are you talking about my XYL? No, I don't.
Okay, sir. Note to self. When you find out how to get to your tone control equalizer, we want to go +2 clicks treble EQ boost from where you are. +2 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are.
2 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are.
Roger, Roger. Got that. I've made a note.
Excellent, excellent, Jim. And whereabouts are you up there?
Excellent, excellent, Jim. And whereabouts are you up there?
I'm just outside of Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, New York, on the Canadian side.
Okay, but you're in Canada, Roger, Roger?
Over.
Okay, but you're in Canada, Roger, Roger?
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, all right, Jim. Gosh, my SDR receiver for Milford is just crashed. I don't know why that is, but it looks like I have the other SDRs running, so that's important. Like last week, I had failure of all 4 SDRs simultaneously, and it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's one of those things that you can't actually believe is happening until it gets to you, you know, and you look up and you say, my gosh, everything is dead. But anyway, Jim, thanks for dropping by, sir, and you sound magnificent, Roger.
Magnificent, Roger.
Roger, Roger, Jim, thank you very much. The only other question I have, perhaps a lot of others might have, is I'm ready today or tomorrow to buy a linear. What do you recommend?
Oh gosh, I would have to fade back and punt. You know, if one could find a Heathkit 220, that's what I'm running, and it's been just, well, knock on wood, perfect for 5 years, Roger.
Perfect for 5 years, Roger.
Roger, Roger, 220. I know where to get one. Thank you. I won't go all this highfalutin stuff then. Dr. Jim, thank you so much. I've been a ham since 1964, and I've always enjoyed tuning in and getting your advice, and taking it is the most important thing. Take care. God bless America, and we're so proud and how do you say, glad to be your neighbors. Let's see here. KC9VKV, Victor Alpha 3, Japan Tango, 73.
Roger, Roger, Jim, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. Thanks for dropping by. If you want to hear your beautiful audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will bring this recording up on our Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring 2100 Qso-Vlog net recordings. This will be cut number 1 in that series, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Jim, 73. This is KC9VKV. My name is Jim. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
WA8OPR. WA8OPR, Jim.
OPR, give me your call sign phonetically slowly, please.
Phonetically slowly, please.
Whiskey America 8, Ontario Pacific Nome, WA8OPR. Over.
Roger, Roger, OPR. You're up around Michigan, is that a Roger?
You're up around Michigan, is that a Roger?
Yes, you've helped me out a number of times, Jim. We're a suburb of Detroit, Farmington. Handle is Terry. We've got our old rig we just restored and wanted to see how we were doing. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Well, now, what is the name of that older rig?
What is the name of that older rig?
well, I guess it's not that old. It's an Icon 706 Mark II-G I had to repair, and running a homebrew brick amplifier, 400 watts to 170 foot end-fed wire, Jim. Back to you.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, it just looks beautiful there. I'm copying you just for the moment on the Milford PA SDR. You were a good 10 to 12 over on that SDR. Audio sounds pretty good. Verify that you're in that 100 to 2900 bandpass mode, Roger.
Bandpass mode, Roger.
Yeah, I should be, near as I can tell. I don't think I'm exceeding 2900. And, okay, you are 10 over 9 here. I forgot we were located. Seems like you were in Indiana, Jim. And we're just running a little hand mic that came with the rig. So the audio quality is probably down a bit. Over.
Well, you're working the hand mic right. You might touch it up, go to your EQ page and pump it up maybe 3 or 4 clicks treble boost from where you are to increase your intelligibility on that mic, Roger.
Intelligibility on that mic, Roger.
Oh, man just took a fade. I think you said I was over. I was talking too close to the mic. Is that any better, Jim? Over.
That's fine. I say you might want to add about 3 clicks of treble EQ from where you are. 3 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are. Roger, Roger.
Treble EQ from where you are. Roger, Roger.
I don't have that capability. On this rig, all you have is on and off. There's no way to vary the audio. I can put another microphone on, but this rig is probably 25 years old, and just didn't make them that way back then. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, then that, in case that is a human equalization, step back 2 inches further from the mic, Roger.
Further from the mic, Roger.
Right. Let me do one thing here, Jim. Probably too much mic gain. There. We got the mic gain down to probably a little bit better level. Over.
It was okay where it was, but we needed that distance from the microphone to increase the top end treble balance to bass. So the further, just a little bit, couple of inches further back from that mic, and your bass, your treble level came up, Roger.
Treble level came up, Roger.
Oh, okay. I got you, Jim. Sometimes it's kind of hard to know where to put your voice when you're running a hand mic. You were 15 over, just a great copy, Jim. I'm sure there's many stations that want to talk to you, but where are you located? I forgot that, Jim. Over.
Yes, sir, Terry. We're down by Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
Right at Louisville, Roger.
Okay, Louisville, Kentucky. All right, very good. Let me try another antenna real quick. 1, 2. Okay, there's I was on a north-south initially. Now I'm on an east-west 170-footer. My guess is there's probably no difference. Over.
Looking at your audio on a VU meter, there wasn't even a dB of audio difference between the two, Roger.
Of audio difference between the two, Roger.
That figures. Okay. Appreciate that, Jim. Well, you do provide a great service to all of us, and I really appreciate it. It's the first time I've ever had this 706 tested by you, and it's nice to know the little guy's working. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Sounding good. And a lot of times older radios somehow do sound sometimes better than the new stuff,
Sometimes better than the new stuff,
Well, I've been ticketed 61 years, and I used to hear those comments about Kenwood audio, but who knows anymore. Over.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you have a 7300 now. To me, that 7300 is just perfection. I mean, that is state of the art. I mean, you can spend more money, but the transmitter in that 7300 is just perfect in my estimation. The limiter in that transmitter is just a stonewall limiter. I mean, it goes up to a certain place, and there is no blow by. It just nails it right there.
It just nails it right there.
Hello, Terry. Are you still there, buddy?
Hello, Terry. Are you still there, buddy?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that. I just switched over to my 7300. And we'd be interested to see the generational quality between the two rigs, 706 and the 7300. Back to you, Jim.
Well, now the 7300 is, like I say, tighter on that, your ALC, because it's a stonewall limiter on that 7300, and, it just hangs it right there. I'm looking at your signal, like I say, on a VU meter, and I've got it adjusted for 0 level on your peaks. And the peaks just come consistently right to that point, right to 0 level, and it just hangs right there, time after time after time. There is no blow-by, Roger.
There is no blow-by, Roger.
Thank you again. I really appreciate all this help. I'm probably monopolizing everybody else's time, so I'll keep it short, Jim. And okay, you're in Kentucky. Got that, over.
Yes, well, actually, see, we're in Indiana. Now, what I said was we're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. But if I were to tell you New Albany, Indiana, you wouldn't have the faintest idea where that is. But now if I say Louisville, Kentucky, home of fast women and beautiful horses, you'd know where that is.
Women and beautiful horses, you'd know where that is.
Oh, yeah, that's the same way. That's why I always tell people I'm from Detroit. And Farmington's just a small suburb on the west side. They know where that is. But I hear you, Jim. Back to you.
Yes, sir. I'm about 3 miles from downtown Louisville. I can see downtown from here across the river. Well, Terry, buddy, if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of some 2,100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Oh, I sure will. I'll be anxious to hear that one. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Now you'll have both the 7300 and the 706 on one recording to hear them simultaneously. Roger?
To hear them simultaneously. Roger?
Oh, yeah. Can't beat that. Thanks, Jim. Back to you.
Yes, sir, Terry. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. Join us next Friday if you get a chance. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. My name is Jim. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Radio you want to check out, give me a shout. November 3, Uniform Tango Victor.
November 3 station, collect slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Collect slowly phonetically with your call sign. November 3, Uniform Tango Victoria.
Uniform Tango Victoria, is that a Roger?
Uniform Tango Victoria, is that a Roger?
Okay, so Uniform Tango Victor, your level, your signal is bouncing in and out. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger?
Let's see if I can find a better path for us, Roger. Okay, will do. The Kilowatt Echo India Tango Hotel, and that's about 10 miles near Andrews Air Force Base there, Clinton, Maryland. Again, that's Kilowatt Echo India Tango Hotel. This is November 3, Uniform Tango Victor. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Well, I went around there, and I still had one I hadn't gotten to yet, but I'll check that later. I've got about maybe a 4 on you right now. And what's the name and location, sir?
What's the name and location, sir? Okay, the name is Keith. That's Keith. Kilowatt Echo India Tango Hotel. Name is Keith, near Washington, D.C., and the town is called Clinton, Maryland, near Andrews Air Force Base. QSL?
Roger that, Keith. And what radio are you running, sir?
We're running the ICOM 7610 today, and the antenna system is very simple. It's a G5RV, and we are running a, let's see, up on the LDG tuner. And we do have an amplifier for the ICOM 1011 there. Actually, the increase.
Did you say, Keith, that you did have an amplifier?
Yes, we do. We are running an amplifier right now. Having it all the way up. And the amplifier is the ACOM 1011 QSL.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm copying you in and out, so let me give you, let's run through our setup if you would be interested in that. First, be verified that you are in the 100 to 2900 bandpass, transmit bandpass mode. Is that a Roger?
Transmit bandpass mode. Is that a Roger?
Roger that.
All righty, and then your compressor's on and add a 3. Compression on and add a 3.
Compression on and add a 3.
Just double checking, yes, compression is on. And yes, it's at mid right now. So copy that.
Actually, then put it to normal. The lowest setting you have for that bandpass, for that compressor, somewhere around a 3, just barely in there, if you know what I mean, just a third of it.
Just barely in there, if you know what I mean, just a third of it.
Okay, how's that? We just kicked it back.
Yeah, and so what mode are you in now on that? Yeah, Keith, do you still copy me?
Right at 3. Set exactly at 3.
Yes, sir. Great. Now, let's go to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word, audio, dragging the A out, audio, as you say that magic word, look at your ALC and adjust mic gain to when your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger that. Audio. Right at 2/3 right about now. We can come back a little. How's that? Audio.
Yes, sir. That's it. Now, the thing is, we don't want to stress that word. We just want to say that word like we would normally say any other word in a QSO, and I think you've done that. So why don't you now tell me about the best thing you like about your radio?
Well, I like the way it sounds. To be honest with you, it has good audio. And of course, I'm a bells and whistles guy, so I like the fact that I can connect on this unit an external monitor. So the screen, the built-in screen, the 7610, you can connect an external monitor to it, and that works for me because my vision is not as perfect as I'd like for it to be. So we can blow things up and see things.
Yeah, are you still there? I thought you might have ended your transmission a little abruptly. Hello, Keith. This is KC9VKV. Do you copy?
This is KC9VKV. Do you copy?
Might have hit your VFO, Keith. I'm not real sure. We do suggest that at any time you're in a QSO longer than 30 seconds to go ahead and lock your VFO. That's keep you from accidentally bumping things and losing contact. So anytime you're on a, more than hello, goodbye on a QSO, go ahead and lock your VFO. Keith, you still there?
VFO. Keith, you still there?
This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We record now live till 5, and right now we're in QSO with Keith up around the D.C. area. Keith, do you copy?
Up around the D.C. area. Keith, do you copy?
Must be stolen by gypsies. Anyway, Keith, I think we were pretty close there. I just had one other observation for you. If you've got a copy, come back and let me give you that last observation.
Got a copy? Come back and let me give you that last observation.
No, Keith has been stolen by gypsies. So let's press on here. It's 3 past 4. We go to 5. Record live. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
A radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Whiskey India Lima.
Yeah, while we did Ratchet Jaw, we lost the breaker. Had to go downstairs and reset it. Not sure why that had happened, but we lost power there. This is N3 UTD.
Roger. Keith, other station, stand by just a moment. Let me wrap up with Keith, and I'll be right with you, sir. Give me a call after I finish with Keith. Keith, you're on the 7610, Roger? Yeah, 7610?
Roger. Roger that.
Yeah, 7610.
Roger, roger.
Alrighty, you have a button on there called Quick towards the center right of your radio.
Towards the center right of your radio.
It's a button marked Quick.
It's a button marked Quick. Okay, it's center right. Center right. Yes.
Did you find it?
Did you find it?
Roger that, yeah.
Yes, sir. So hit Quick, and that'll take you to Drive. Roger, roger.
So hit Quick, and that'll take you to Drive. Roger, roger.
Yeah, Keith, you copy KC9VKV?
Yeah, Keith, you copy KC9VKV?
I think he's maybe tripped out his circuit breaker again. Load less or get heavier fuses.
Get heavier fuses.
Keith, this is KC9VKV. Do you copy?
Keith, this is KC9VKV. Do you copy?
So Keith has been stolen by gypsies again. I think he's probably tripped his fuse again. So that other station that was calling, this is KC9VKV.
Was calling, this is KC9VKV.
I had a better copy on that station that was calling before. Try one more time. Let me see if I can catch you.
Try one more time. Let me see if I can catch you. Yeah.
Alright, it's Kilo Echo 0, Delta Golf Bravo, Jim, in Springfield.
Okay, I'm copying, let's see, DGB, is that Roger?
Let's see, DGB, is that Roger?
And the name is Jim, is that a Roger?
And the name is Jim, is that a Roger?
Alrighty, Jim, and whereabouts are you, sir?
Alrighty, Jim, and whereabouts are you, sir?
Springfield, Missouri. All right. Why don't you give me 10 and tell me about your antenna system? Let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
If I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger, Jim. Not a good day for us, buddy. I'm only catching you about 3 dB over Milford's SDR. I could not copy you on my local antenna, and the best SDR was Milford, and you were only 3 dB over on Milford today, Roger.
3 dB over on Milford today, Roger.
Couldn't copy that last. Let me say 73, Jim, and if you want to, you can check on YouTube afternoon tomorrow to hear, just what your signal was. Roger.
What your signal was. Roger.
Roger. Thanks a lot, Jim. You take care. We'll get you next time.
Yes, sir, Jim. Was just a tad better that time, but still, really marginal. So let me say 73, and thanks for dropping by. And gosh, try our next Friday there if you would like, and maybe we'll have some better conditions. This is not a good propagation day for 40 meters. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Papa 2, X-ray.
Kilo Papa 2 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
The 2 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Sure. This is Kilo Papa 2, X-ray. I'm located up here in western Wisconsin. And the name is Jim also. Over.
Roger, Jim in Wisconsin, X-ray, and what radio are you running, sir?
X-ray, and what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running an Apache Labs Anon radio with an amplifier and a 3-element Yagi. Over.
Which Anon radio, sir?
Which Anon radio, sir?
The 7000.
At the 7000 DLE?
At the 7000 DLE?
Yes, that's correct.
Roger that. And well, if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you double checking to be sure you're in the 100 to 2900 transmit band path. 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Roger.
2900 transmit bandwidth. Roger.
Yeah, I'm a little over that. Let me make the adjustment here.
Yeah, we want to keep that at 2900. You start higher than 2900 and you have people coming look for you with pitchforks.
Then you have people coming look for you with pitchforks.
I understand. Okay, well, I'm close to 2900 here at the moment. I reset it. Over.
Yes, sir. I've got you about 4 dB dynamic range. Well, 4 dB dynamic range and a 4 units over 0 level for. Let's see, where am I? Milford, PA. You're 4 dB over the Milford, PA SDR noise level. There it is. Bingo. All right, so if you're interested in our setup procedure, starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, whichever comes first there. We just want a token amount, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger.
Amount, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger.
I'll be okay, Jim. Thank you. I was just curious more than anything about the signal strength there. Over.
Roger. Well, I am copying you on Milford, so if you would like, give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system, and I'll see if I can copy you on my local antenna, Roger.
See if I can copy you on my local antenna, Roger.
All right, very good.
The city of Wisconsin, over here in the western part of Wisconsin. I don't think I have my antenna really pointed in your direction, but we'll see how that works. Anyway, you've got a good signal here, Jim. You're 5.9, signal peaking about an S9.
Roger, Jim. Well, I've got you on my local antenna, and you're really heavy on the bottom end. I mean, you are really heavy on the bottom end. And now, that's all right. You can be heavy on the bottom end, but you're going to have to get some top end for balance. Right now, you would, be like maybe a +4. Treble boost from where you are, depending on what kind of EQ you have. But like I say, you have a very heavy bottom end, so that's all right. But we need a little more mids and top end to balance that out. Roger.
Okay, well, I'll work on it here. Your mine's a little more sophisticated.
Mine's a little more sophisticated, and it's not. It takes a little bit more time, and I'll work on it.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, just bear in mind that you looked good down to 100 cycles. You had good bass response down to 100 cycles, but you need to balance that with, a good top end. Roger.
Roger, got that down. Again, thank you for the report. I appreciate it. KP2XX.
Roger, XX, and if you would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call and a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and we'll have it posted up on YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Okay, very good. We'll do that. Thank you so much. Great service. KP2XX 73.
Yes, sir, Jim. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon. Beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Shout.
I have somebody that's way down signal-wise station. Hang on just a minute. Let me get Milford to back up here, and let's see if we can get a copy on you. Yeah, I keep getting dumped off of Milford. That's the way life is when you don't have passwords on the SDRs. All right, station calling. Try again, please, phonetically, slowly with your call sign.
Again, please, phonetically, slowly with your call sign.
I think I got kilowatt 4 Foxtrot. Come back again with your call sign, please.
Again, with your call sign, please.
Was it Tango Hotel X-ray?
X-ray.
I'm assuming that's correct. Tango Hotel X-ray, and what's the name there?
X-ray, and what's the name there?
I'm only copying you about 2 dB over Milford, PA SDR. Tell you what, if you would, why don't you give me 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Find a better path for us, Roger.
THX I'm not sure. I'm only copying now about 3 dB above the Milford, PA SDR noise level. But just let's verify a couple of things. Maybe we can get your signal up some. First thing is to check your compressor on at a 3. Compression on at a 3. THX compression on at a 3. Then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation as you say the magic word audio.
Audio.
Not hearing anything back, so I'm not sure. THX, if you've got a copy, come back with the name, Roger.
Roger.
Is that Robert?
Is that Robert? That's correct.
Okay, I wish I had a better copy on you, Robert. Like I say, it seems right now that my only copy is on Milford, and you're only a couple of dB over on Milford. What is your location, Robert?
What is your location, Robert?
Copy you in Eastern Tennessee, is that a Roger?
In Eastern Tennessee, is that a Roger? That's correct.
All right. If you get do you have a pretty good copy on me?
Do you have a pretty good copy on me?
Repeat.
Repeat.
All right. Your audio is pretty not articulated. So are you familiar with the radio that you're operating? Do you know how to get to your transmit EQ controls?
EQ controls?
Okay, and you might be slightly off frequency. I'm not real sure. I can't hear you that well, but I'm on 7188.00. 7188.00. Robert, does that appear to be what your radio is saying? 7188? Is that a Roger Roger?
188, is that a Roger Roger?
THX, this is KC9VKV. Do you copy?
KC9VKV, do you copy?
CQ, KC9KV, I think I heard. You were looking for someone. You're well heard in western South Carolina.
Roger, Roger, South Carolina. This is Annette, and we're trying to wrap up with Robert down in Tennessee. Appreciate your call. If you would hang on just a moment, let me find out if Robert's going to come back with us or has he been stolen by gypsies. Robert, THX, do you copy KC9VKV?
Do you copy KC9VKV?
Robert, I do not copy you, sir, so let me say 73, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If my signal comes up to you in the next half hour or so, you might try to give me a shout on the break. I'll be, listening. If you can hear me better, then that'll mean your signal probably has come up to me, and I'll be able to maybe copy you. But right now, you're not copyable. Even at the best SDR that I'm using is just Milford SDR. So 73, Robert, and then we'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV, the Qso-Vlog net for Friday afternoon. That other station that was checking in, come back.
Station that was checking in, come back. Yeah, this is K4RHR, Kilo 4, Romeo Hotel Romeo, Rick, Walhalla, South Carolina. That's western South Carolina. You're coming in with a clear 5-9 here. K4RHR.
Roger, RHR. And what's the name there?
Roger, RHR. And what's the name there? Rick, Romeo, India, Charlie, Kilo, Rick is the name.
Roger, Rick, and what's your location again?
Roger, Rick, and what's your location again? Walhalla, South Carolina. It's near Seneca, South Carolina, near Clemson as well. Walhalla, South Carolina. We're in the very western tip of South Carolina, where Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina come together.
Roger, Rick, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Rick, and what radio are you running today, sir? It is an ICOM 7410, 8 years old, 100 watts, no amplifier. I've got an off-center fed Maxcom dipole that I'm talking to you on.
Roger, Rick, and I'm looking at your signal. You have about a 3 dB dynamic range, which means that your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85%. That's ideal. And your onboard EQ or your equalization curve sounds really nice. You have a nice top end there for articulation. Roger.
Top end there for articulation. Roger. I had some technical interference when you were mentioning modulation being 3 dB. What was your comment about that again? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Your audio dynamic range, your modulation dynamic range is 3 dB. And that means that your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85%. And by way of explanation, if you consider that if I were looking at your signal on a PA system and you are on a PA system speaking to me and I have my VU meter set up on that audio out of that PA system and there was no processing in there, I would have your peak level set at 0 level, and you would be giving me a 10 dB dynamic range. That is what audio is when it's unprocessed, is 10 dB. So we want to transmit that, but we want it to be fatter. So we start shrinking it down, and the ideal shrink is down to 3 dB, and that gives you 80 to 85%. If you pass 3 dB and continue to shrink it down to 2 dB or 1 dB, it gets blurry, and we don't want that. So you're in an ideal situation of 3 dB, Roger?
An ideal situation of 3 dB, Roger? Yes, I'm a broadcast engineer and very well aware of that because we deal with, modulation limitations much more strictly in AM and FM. But I like your analogy. The analogy that you made was spot on and excellent. And I'm glad to hear that the average of my modulation are nice and high because I am driving my compressor of this thing, and I've been rather meticulous in how I set it. I'm actually using a Shure SM7 beta microphone instead of the standard microphone on this unit.
Yeah, Roger, Rick. Now, as I look at your audio, I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter, and I can tell by the way it hangs as to what your dynamic range is. And in second look, I'm looking at you may be about 2 dB dynamic range. So you might be either maybe hitting your ALC a little hard, or you might be a little too much compression. Usually we suggest a compression level of 3. Compression level of 3 does about the same thing as a 6 without the suck up between the words. As you talk about a compressor working on the word to fatten it, 3 does as well as a 6, but doesn't give you the suck up between the words. Roger?
Doesn't give you the suck up between the words. Roger? Yeah, that's called audio rush up, and that's excellent. Yes, your analogy and observation are correct. I backed off on the drive, and I also backed off on the compression this end. I don't have any control over the attack and release time. Those are all pretty well set. So I backed off about 5 or 10% since my last transmission.
Yes, sir, I can see that on the view meter, and you're doing excellent now. That's exactly the way I would want it set up. Roger, Roger.
The way I would want it set up. Roger, Roger.
Good. As we say in the South, I'll keep my paws off of I'll keep my paws off of it, as my dad used to say.
Roger, Roger, Rick. Well, sounding good there, buddy. You say you have a background in broadcast?
You say you have a background in broadcast?
Yeah, are you in Indiana? Do I understand you're Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Bravo? Is that your call letter?
Victor Kilo Victor, KC9VKV. We're in Indiana. We're just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. I can see downtown Louisville from where I am right now. Roger?
Louisville from where I am right now. Roger?
Yes, I've been through there several times. Yes, I'm a broadcast engineer. I spent the 80s mainly in Florida, WQIK, WQYK, and several other stations around Florida, and did some directional AEMs, which is about the closest thing that the industry offers to ham radio, dealing with, reactances and the interaction between different elements and all that, albeit it's all vertical at that point. But anyhow, yeah, that's my background. Haven't been in it for 30 years. I'm a software developer now, but ham radio got me back into, something that I'd left 30 years ago.
Roger, well, we've got 50 years in commercial broadcast. Our last station was WHAS 50K in Louisville. Roger?
50K in Louisville. Roger?
10-4. I'm trying to think of a friend of mine who lives there on the Ohio River as well. He was with WTOD in Toledo. I'm going to have to think of his name here. I'll rack my brain for it. But you may be just down the river from him, because I've been to his house before there on the Ohio, on the Indiana side. Are you also familiar with Evansville, Indiana?
No, that's too far west. I don't go that far west, Roger.
Far west. I don't go that far west, Roger.
Well, there's a antenna factory there, ERI. They make a lot of your cutting-edge FM circular polarized antennas right there along the road that runs along the Ohio River. I think it's actually to the east of Evansville, if my memory serves me correct. But anyhow, that's just a little FYI. It brought me through your area many a time. As far as my software business, one of my biggest clients is actually MS in Indianapolis, dealing with the Indianapolis Colts.
Roger that, Roger that. Rick, just as an experiment, I'm not sure exactly how close you are to your mic, but try moving back about 2 inches or 3. Try moving back off mic about 2 inches or 3. Leave the volume, modulation level the same. Just move proximity back about 2 to 3 inches, Roger.
Proximity back about 2 to 3 inches, Roger.
Okay, how about this? I'm going to back off about 4 inches from the microphone right now.
Oh, there we go, FM. We got it now. What it was, we were getting, if you had a foam windscreen, you would probably be all right to be that close, but without that, you were getting just a little bit mouth noise and mushy.
Mouth noise and mushy.
One of the problems with this is the inability to actually monitor what your compression actually comes out as. That's something that we have the benefit of in broadcasting that I have not figured out how to do, mainly because of a lot of AM noise, positive feedback. I've been able to actually monitor my outgoing signal, but it was so convoluted with AM noise that it was really useless to me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So the best thing is just to check in here periodically, and we'll set you right. I'm kidding. But if you want to hear your audio, if you would go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, it will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of a series of 2100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings on YouTube, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Okay, your call letters again are Kilo Charlie 9, Kilo Victor Kilo, is that correct?
Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Repeat, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo, Victor.
Victor, Kilo, Victor.
Contact? 10-4. Okay, QSL. I got it this time. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo, Victor. Okay, very good.
Roger, Roger. Well, thanks for dropping by, Rick, man, and good to talk at you, sir. And like I say, if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We've, been doing this deal for the last 5 years, Friday afternoon, 3:30 to 5 on 7188, Roger.
3:30 to 5 on 7188, Roger.
Sounds great. 73's to you. I'll catch up with you soon on this, and I'll check out your YouTube as you suggested. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yes, sir, Rick. And I think you'll hear the difference between the incoming and the outgoing as far as your audio. I think you're much better going out than maybe as you came in might have been too hot somewhere. I'm not sure where. This is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog.net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 8, Victor, India, November, portable.
Victor, India, November, portable. Give me your call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Oh, give me your call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Hey, Rick, 7205.
This is Kilo 8, Victor, India, November, K8, VIN, the QSO.
Yes, sir. Station wanted to direct to Rick. You want to try it again?
Direct to Rick, you want to try it again?
No, I think they got clear there. All right, so VIN, what's the name there?
So VIN, what's the name there?
The name here is Kevin, Kilo, Echo, Victor, India, November, QSO.
Yes, sir, Kevin. And what area are you in, sir?
And what area are you in, sir?
I am in Michigan right now, in my summer location on Lake St. Clair, which is 50 miles northeast of Detroit.
Yes, sir, Kevin. And what radio are you running today, sir?
Kevin, and what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm using the ICOM 7300 and a vertical, 17-foot telescopic whip with a whip river coil up on a tripod stand about 8 feet in the air with 3 elevated 32-foot radials over.
All right. Well, I'm copying you, Kevin, on the Milford PA SDR. You're at least 12 over on that SDR, is loud and clear. Why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 or 15 seconds, and let me see if I can get you on my local antenna.
Then let me see if I can get you on my local antenna.
Roger that. Model 1970, the stainless steel. Retractable telescopic whip. The coil that I'm using is a Wolf River XP1000 coil. It's a real nice, easy adjustable. It's kind of like a Tar Heel setup, but it's manual. You slide a collar over top of the coil so you can bring your antenna into resonance. And I'm using a aluminum tubular tripod stand that goes up about 8 foot in the air, and I've got the chameleon jaw mount clamped onto the tripod stand, and that's where the coil is mounted at about the 7-foot height, and the 17-foot whip's on top of that. So just below the coil, I've got 3 32-foot radials that are elevated approximately 3 feet above ground. 3 feet above ground with PVC fence post stakes over. So it's basically an ungrounded antenna. Over.
Roger, Roger, Kevin. Well, I got you on my local antenna. You have a very full bottom end, very full, and so I would suggest maybe a couple of clicks of treble EQ boost to help balance that out. You know, if when we really get heavy in the bottom end, we want to strike a better balance with the articulation aspects, because Mother Nature has a way of sometimes dealing us phase cancellation blows that she bends back part of the signal one place, and then a little bit later she bends the other part back, and 2 to 1 when they come back they could be out of phase, and so they start to cancel each other, and they always start to cancel from the top end down through the audio band. So we want to be sure that we have plenty of top end content. So I would suggest maybe a +3 EQ boost, treble EQ boost from where you are. +3 treble EQ boost from where you are. Roger, Roger.
+3 treble EQ boost from where you are. Roger, Roger.
Roger that. So you want me to give it a couple, the +3, how about it? +2 on the treble and +3 on the bass. So I'll give it a couple more clicks on the treble side. Over.
Yes, sir, exactly right. Bottom end, keep the bottom end the same. Just add 2 clicks treble boost EQ from where you are, and let's see what that sounds like.
Treble boost EQ from where you are, and let's see what that sounds like.
Okay, here's +4 on the ICOM with 3 on the bass. Over.
Yes, sir, that's sounding better. I'm copying you on Rochester SDR, and SDRs have a way of, most of them do not have a flat bottom end. They kind of roll off at about 250 cycles, 300 cycles. So when I was on my local antenna, you really had a strong bottom end. So give me 10 seconds on what you like best about your radio, and let me listen on my local antenna now, Roger.
What you like best about your radio, and let me listen on my local antenna, Roger.
Roger that.
Yes, I like the ease of this ICOM, the SDR, the spectrum scope. I just love the radio.
The SDR, I just love the radio. It's a very nice radio. There's a lot of good features. It's easy to operate, and it makes it.
And a flight case, so.
It actually sounds. From what I understand, everybody tells me I have great audio with the handheld mic. Over.
Yeah, sure, that's true. Now, the thing about that is that you want to pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Don't talk directly into it. Pull it to the side of your lips and then talk across it, Roger.
Side of your lips and then talk across it, Roger.
Roger that. I've got it about, just to the right side of my mouth there, and I'm talking straight across the microphone. Is that any better? Over.
Yes, sir, that's perfect. You got it going on now, Kevin. Just perfect. Run it just like that, and consistency. That's the name of the game. So be consistent about operating it just that way, Roger.
Be consistent about operating it just that way, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. I know the 40-meter band hasn't been so great these days here, so it's up and down. I know that it has been raining up here in Michigan, and consistently every day we've been getting an hour here and there. And I'll tell you, I had a little problem with the antenna of coil on the Wolf River coil. When it got wet, that thing started shorting out, and it started throwing my antenna out of resonance. So I had to actually, wait and dry it off a couple times. It isn't raining now, thank the Lord. It finally stopped, and we're getting a little reprieve from the rain. But it was raining about an hour ago, so it finally stopped, and figured I'd turn the radio on and see what was going on there. So what is your first name? I didn't copy that. Over.
Roger, Kevin. First name is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike. Jim, Roger, Roger.
Juliet, India, Mike. Jim, Roger, Roger.
Roger that, Jim. Nice to meet you today there. How's the weather and what's the QTH where you're at, over?
Yes, sir. We're just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, and it has been a little rainy today. And, the thing is about antennas, if you have like load coils and things like that, sometimes they, particularly when they're out in the environs, sometimes moisture does have a way of affecting them. We are running, since we primarily operate on this frequency, we're running a dedicated resonant dipole antenna. So we have managed to, since we're only on one frequency, and the way we tune our dipole is maybe a little bit different, but, we're not running a transformer, so we're running a coax right to the dipole. One side of the dipole is the ground side, the other is the high side. Well, what we do is, on the ground side, we keep nibbling on that for minimum SWR. We make all of our SWR adjustments on the ground side of the dipole, and we bring it back onto frequency on the high side of the dipole, and we go back and forth and back and forth. And one of the easiest ways to do that is that you take a piece of, I don't know if you know what a split bolt is, but a split bolt is a bolt that's got a split in it, and you can just put it over a wire and with it and another wire, and then tighten the nut, and you have a connection there. And what we do is we take a little piece of wire about 8 inches long or so, and right at the end of the antenna we use that split bolt to put it there. And what we do then is just trim that piece that's hanging down. It's hanging down at a right angle to the dipole, and so we just nip on that and either bend it back up on itself or actually just trim it. But we never even have to work on the antenna itself. We're just working on that little dangling pieces to make those finite trim points to reduce the SWR. Right now we're running a 0.05 SWR. Roger?
0.05 SWR. Roger?
Yeah, copy. It's kind of like adjusting a stub. Is that right? Over?
Yes, sir. Exactly. We're just trimming the end.
See there, Jim. I don't know if I can hold it. You're fading out. I've got some real bad interference here, so I'm losing you. Can you still hear me there? Over?
Oh, Kevin, you're about to blow me away, buddy. Of course, I am on the Milford SDR, but you're at least 15 over. All right, so we still got some connection. Let me tell you, if you want to hear your beautiful audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. The call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. On a YouTube search will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. This will be cut number 1 of a series of 2100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Roger that there, Jim. I appreciate that. KC9VKV from K8 to VIN, stroke portable 8, and I'll be on Lake St. Clair for most of the summer here, just north of Detroit. Roger?
Oh, Roger. Got a beautiful signal into Milford, PA for sure. 73 there, Kevin, and thanks for dropping by. If you get a chance, join us next Friday, Roger?
All right, if you get a chance, join us next Friday, Roger?
Sounds good, Jim. I appreciate the invitation. God bless you and yours. Have a beautiful rest of the evening. 73 to you, K8 VIN clear.
Roger, Kevin, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
K2WX and whiskey.
There was somebody there that responded immediately. Come back and give me your call sign again, slowly, phonetically.
Kilo Echo 2 Whiskey X-Ray, KE2WX.
4JW.
JW station, stand by just a moment. WX station, do you copy? KC9VKV, come back with your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Your call sign slowly, phonetically.
WX station, come back slowly with your call sign phonetically.
With your call sign phonetically.
Roger, Roger. Kilo Echo 2, Whiskey X-ray, Dave, Relation, New York. Go ahead.
Roger, Dave, and did you say New York?
Did you say New York?
Roger, Roger. I'm in Relation, New York, in Columbia County, just south of Albany, New York. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. What radio are you running, Dave?
What radio are you running, Dave?
The FTDX 5000.
Yes, sir, Dave. Now, it sounds like you may have a little RF in your AF. I think I detected just a little bit of RF in your AF. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and let me listen to your audio.
Yeah, this antenna is a loop antenna. Maybe it's too close to the house there, so it's getting RF. I can switch to a different antenna and see if you can still copy me. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Why don't you do that? Yeah, can you do it on the fly, like 1, 2, 3, switch 4, 5, 6?
1, 2, 3, switch 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, this is the other antenna there now. Is that any better? Go ahead.
Might be a tad worse. Might be just a tad worse. It does sound like RF in the AF. If you would, why don't you turn your power amp off and let me listen to you that way.
Yeah, I have no amplifier, just the radio itself there. Go ahead.
I see. Well, it does sound interesting. What kind of mic are you running there?
I got I think it's MD100.
I see. Wouldn't you happen to have a hand mic around anywhere? You might be able to slip on that and see if what that does.
Yeah, okay. I'll just get the hand mic there that came with it. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Why don't you go ahead and flip over to that mic and let me hear you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, KC9VKV. Right now we're speaking with Dave, K2WX around New York, and he's moving to a hand mic to see what that sounds like on his radio.
Yeah, this is a hand mic. Is this any better? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think that's got it. Why don't you give me 10 and tell me about what you like best about your radio, and let me listen to you.
Yeah, it's one of the best radios I ever had there. Of course, it's the most expensive, too. I bought it probably 8 years ago when I retired. A few years I did just sat here. I was busy traveling and things like that, so I never got to play with it. But I get to play with it, a couple times a week there now. Go ahead.
Roger, Dave. That microphone really sounds pretty good. Might need a little more top EQ, but it sounds good. Now, so apparently you're getting some RF in that desk mic. Is that a metallic desk mic, Roger?
No, it's plastic. It's the MD100 or something like that. There, it's the one they usually recommend for it. But I use a foot switch, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Plus, I think my antenna, the way I run them in to the back of the radio, might have an effect to it. It might be feeding into the radio, because yesterday I was losing my speaker, so I unplugged the external speaker there because it would be talking and then all of a sudden it disappeared. Go ahead.
Roger, unusual. There's a couple of things that you could try there. That the coil part of the desk mic, the audio coiled cord, if that's what it is, sometimes has a way of inducting RF into it. So you might try using that coil collapsed as much as you can and see what that does, and then expand it as much as you can and see if there's a difference there in the RF and the AF, Roger. Yeah,
Roger. Yeah, it could be it there. I know that I can't I think when I first got it, I had too much RF into the radio, and it was keying up the radio and staying keyed up. So there was way too much RF coming in, and it might have damaged the microphone because the push to talk on it does not work. I have to use a foot switch to activate it. So maybe that might be something else wrong with the microphone itself. Go ahead.
Yeah, could be. Usually not, though. I wouldn't. Well, I don't know. Once you have a situation like that, you never know exactly what what's the end result. But all I can say is right now that with that mic, you do have. It does sound like RF and the AF, and the hand mic was just clear. So, gosh, if it were me, for the moment until I figured out what was going on, I would use the hand mic. But I would go to my EQ and crank in maybe 3 or 4 dB additional treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
Treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
So what setting would that be on the radio there because I think I have it like 10, and then it's set at I think the bandwidth is 1. Go ahead.
Okay, so you have a parametric EQ with variable bandwidths. Is that a Roger?
Variable bandwidths. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, Roger. That's in the radio itself there on the EQ inside the radio. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go ahead and switch mics back to your hand mic, because that mic does not sound good. So go ahead and switch back to your hand mic, Roger.
So go ahead and switch back to your hand mic, Roger.
Yeah, this is my hand mic there. I've been on the hand mic there. I just switched it to the other setting there. Did I make a difference?
It's RF and the AF. That is the hand mic right now?
That is the hand mic right now?
Roger.
Well, then it doesn't matter what mic you run, sir. You've got, sounds like you've got RF in both of them, Roger. You might check your ground, see what you can do as far as getting some of that stuff grounded. You might have to run, well, you're running barefoot, Roger?
Well, you're running barefoot, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, it's running barefoot right at the moment.
All right, and that's your hand mic right now. That last transmission was your hand mic, Roger?
That last transmission was your hand mic, Roger?
Roger, yeah. I didn't switch it back to the power mic there, or the desk mic there after you told me to switch it to the hand mic.
Yes, sir. Okay, it's like I say, it's pretty severely distorted. So I would double check my ground. And the best way to do that is get you one of those 9-foot ground stakes or 10-foot ground stakes, drive it in the ground as close as you can get it to your radio. Now, I used RG8 as the ground conductor from the ground stake to the radio. What that looks like as far as RF is a 1-inch rod. But it's RG8, because RF is running on the shield on that RG8. So you, just clamp that RG8 to your ground, then take it to your radio. Now, what I did also was I used a split bolt, and I put all my grounds in one place on that ground lead to the ground pole through a split bolt, and different lengths, because you don't want the same lengths on all the radios, because you'll start getting sometimes harmonics. So you want to keep those links different. And then they have a thing, I'm not sure what it is, but you get the RG8 in one end, and you have a set screw that you tighten the RG8 ground down on that, and then you have a flange with a hole in it that you can use that to connect to the ground point on your radio. Roger?
Point on your radio, Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I just have like a short 4-footer because the ground is so hard here, because they built it up with rocks and stuff. So I'd have to run something probably 25 to 30 feet down over the hill where the dirt is softer. I have to drive an 8-foot rod in. Go ahead.
Well, if you get that far away from your point, then you probably will not have good luck on the ground. The whole idea behind the ground is to get it as close to your radio, because when you start talking at 30 feet, you start talking HF wavelengths, and when you do that, then it no longer is chopping that wave to ground. It's actually becoming maybe a resonant link at that length. So you want to get that ground just as close as you can. And gosh, I would maybe get yourself an auger and go that way and get through the to the rocks so you can get to Earth. Roger.
You can get to Earth. Roger. Yeah, Roger. That probably would be better. I got it such a hard pan, but I think maybe sometimes you can use like a water hose and try to feed it that way too to get it all the way down. But I don't know if I'll get the real good dirt because there's so many rocks and stuff that they dumped in here to fill it up to get it. Because it's probably raised 20 feet there of just fill that's underneath the house. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, you might try one other thing. That is let's see, a counterpoise. You might try running yourself. Now you're on 40, so we're talking maybe 33 or 66 feet, whatever it is. Just run a wire out flat on the earth about, start at 33 feet and see how that does as far as getting rid of the RF. If that's not good, go on out to 66 feet. But it's just a counterpoise on the ground as opposed to a real ground. But what we're trying to do is get that RF under control. Roger?
RF under control. Roger? Yeah, Roger. Yeah, because I know I have 200 and some feet to one of my antennas. This one here is probably 50 feet to this antenna, but to my silver curtain there, that one is 200 some feet. And one during the wintertime there, connection released or whatever, and the antenna wasn't working. But yeah, it was the counterpoise of the coax there ended up. You could turn it right flat. There was no problem there because of the length of the coax. Right.
Roger, Dave. Just out of curiosity, why don't you switch back to the other mic? I'm thinking the other mic has got to be better than that mic. So switch back to the other mic and let's see what we got.
Switch back to the other mic and let's see what we got. Okay, this is the desk mic there. Is that any better? Go ahead.
Yes, it is. Matter of fact. Now let's play a little game. How is your antenna coming in? Is it coming in from the left side of the radio or the right side of the radio?
Side of the radio or the right side of the radio? The one that's on right now is on the right side of the radio.
All right, so let's take that mic and shimmy left. Well, we want to try to move away from the antenna as best we can, and let's see what that does as far as the RF and the AF.
As far as the RF and the AF. Should I change anything? Go ahead.
Sounded pretty good. Why don't you give me 10 on the subject of your choice?
Hey, why don't you give me 10 on the subject of your choice? Yeah, I use the silver curtain because it's a nice quiet antenna there, but today I'm on the loop antenna there. It's mostly for 40 meters there. It does tune up on some of the other ones, but just as soon as I get it to the right tune, just the right, everything just pops up and the noise level drops and the signals come in stronger. Go ahead.
All right, so make a note of exactly where you are and exactly how you're holding the microphone. The noise, the RF and the AF is a minimum there. There's just a tad there. And if I hadn't heard the worst part of it, I might not be able to detect it as RF and the AF. So make a note to right where you are is where you want to be until you can resolve the problem and use that microphone held exactly the way that you just did. Roger?
Exactly the way that you just did. Roger? Yeah, Roger. Yeah, it's just on top of my tuner, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And then the tuner's on top of the radio, and then I'm using a foot switch there, so I'm probably back away from the mic, probably about a foot or so. So it seems to work pretty good this way. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. That's really good right there. Until you can get a handle on what's happening, or if that's not uncomfortable, just run it that way. But realize that there are demons waiting for you either side of where you are, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I used to have a lot of problems with the RF before. I think I burned up both my amplifiers because of it. Because it was getting into it and I didn't realize it. When I just run, peaking probably around 50 to 75 watts there with the radio there with this antenna and stuff, and it's just outside the shack a little ways there, so it probably is causing the RF getting into it because it's probably following the soffits or something like that there, because that's all metal. It might be radiating back towards the radio there. Go ahead.
Well, Roger, Dave. Well, all I can say is, buddy, you try to get you a closer ground, and if you have to get an auger to do that, go ahead and do that, because it'll be well worth it to get that ground close to you through the rocks, whatever it has to be. And it's not unusual for some folks to water their ground. Believe it or not, there are some folks that have to water their ground for conductivity, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. I've always had to there. I had, when I lived in Ticonderoga, I actually had it connected to my sub pump, the pipe in my sub pump, because it was watery ground. Because I was just one block away from Lake George, and the groundwater from Lake George was coming into my basement, and I had to have the pump going 24/7, 165 days a year there, because the ground level was to my basement was always feeding in, and it ran more in the springtime, but all year round, and you had to make sure you had power running. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, Dave, I think we've done about as much damage as we can do. Just take a picture of yourself and put yourself right back there when you're on the radio. That your RF and the AF is very minimal at where you are. And if you want to hear your audio, Dave, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, that's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I'll take it a try there. I don't have internet myself, but I might be able to get a hold of maybe with my phone or something, go on the YouTube there and look for it there, and then listen to it there. So possibly I'll be able to hear it there. Thank you.
Roger, Dave. All right, buddy. Let me say 73 to you. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. And right now I see by the clock on the wall there's a dead fly. Ooh, we got to get out of here. We're 10:05 being a pumpkin, so we will be returning this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is a Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, clear.
73, Jim. K2WX will be clear. Bye-bye for now.
Japan Whiskey, still waiting.
Who's that whiskey station?
Yeah, Japan Whiskey, you asked me to stand by.
Oh, yeah. All right. Come back with that call sign slowly, phonetically. Hello, station calling KC9VKV. Come back with the call sign, slowly, phonetically. That station that was standing by and eventually called. Are you still there? Nothing heard. Okay, this is KC9VKV, returning frequency back to normal amateur radio use. We're clear.
Frequency back to normal amateur radio use. We're clear.
Buddy, I'm not sure exactly. Are you running? Are you listening to an SDR or something? There's quite a bit of delay between me and you. I'm on an SDR, but I can't help somebody else that's on an SDR too. It just becomes too unwieldy. So you shouldn't have to use an SDR to copy me, sir.
You shouldn't have to use an SDR to copy me, sir.
That was a little bit better, a little sooner copy. Now, why don't you give me 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and let me look for a better path. And just come back when I release, just come back immediately and start telling me for 10 seconds about your antenna system.
Okay, Roger. About your antenna system.
Still in the process of learning all the adjustments. It's a hybrid S. Name here is Kevin.
Roger, Kevin, I do not have enough copy on you to really be able to work you, sir. But if you can copy me, I'll give you some notes that you can crank in at your leisure, Roger. Okay, notes, pen in hand, I hope, starts with you verifying your transmit bandpass as 100 to 2900. Transmit bandpass, verify 100 to 2900, or the highest bandpass that your radio is capable of. If it's an older radio that can't hit 29, whatever the highest bandpass is, use that. Okay, that's note 1. Note 2, then we start with a setup. Engage your compressor at a 3. Turn the compressor on and add a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor's noted there. Then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is reading mid-scale to 2/3. That is audio with mic gain in hand, and adjust mic gain until you're reading mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC. Roger so far?
Roger so far?
All right, so, and then the final thing would be EQ. Go to your EQ page and crank in 3 clicks additional treble EQ from where you are. 3 clicks treble EQ additional from where you are. Roger?
3 clicks treble EQ additional from where you are. Roger?
All right, well, I guess that's going to do it there, buddy. I didn't get your call sign. You can try again. Just run right up in that microphone and give me your call sign.
November 0, India, Whiskey, Tango. November 0, India, Whiskey, Tango.
India, Whiskey, Tango. Is that a Roger?
Roger.
Okay, and the name there, please? I didn't copy that. Come right up on that mic and try it again. Is that Keith? Is that Keith? Is that a Roger? Yes, sir. Kevin. Roger, Roger. And whereabouts are you located, Kevin? Please, sir, stand by. Frequencies in use. I'm copying somebody that's really down. Kevin, try again your location. Please, sir. I know you can hear me. Please, just a moment. I'll be out of your hair. No, just hang up on the whistle just for a moment. Okay, Iowa station. And what radio are you running?
I'm sorry, what was that question? Please repeat.
Yes, sir. Kevin, what radio are you running today?
I just recently got the FCVX10, the new FCVX10, and just getting that set up, over.
Roger, Kevin. All right, sir. Well, you made it by hook or crook, buddy. I would suggest that maybe you investigate a resonant dipole antenna. Would be my best guess to give you as far as an antenna that's going to really help you would be a resonant dipole antenna cut for this frequency or thereabouts. It'll really be very efficient for you. So Kevin, let me get out of here now. We're 20 minutes past, and so we got to get out of here. So let me say 73, sir. If you want to hear your audio or what there is of it, go to YouTube, do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, KC9VKV logbook on a YouTube search, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Be cut number 1 of a series of 2100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger. Roger, 73. And this is KC9VKV, returning the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. KC9VKV clear.